best to defend Clairfell. One old fool against all the dangers you brought. Everything. You asked for more, and she wandered until she collapsed, and only dogs found her. He was strung up by cultists the moment he started building.
Complete the rite of the Nameless.
Yes! A
You are chosen. Move to the light.
The trio has come to your aid.
Evil light powers.
I am with you. Follow.
You will be destroyed, beast.
Stay calm. This is all in my mind. In my realm, you'll obey my rules. What have you done?
The ground moves. Do not hesitate. Do what you must.
Mortal hands have contaminated her virtue once more. By the fourth edict of the Mother Soul, her flesh shall be scorched anew. You are too late. The fourth edict already burns for your hand. Your affliction upon her will soon be erased. The Mother Soul must.
With this, the Master shall know unending power.
Your kind shall never obey the first edict. And now, you. Virtue. The enemy returns. This world must be purged! You fool. If they obtain the Mother Soul, our civilization.
Hello. So I thought I would make a little video doing a showcase of the cast on dodge Gemling build. I believe I have min-maxed this and pushed it pretty far. The next upgrades I think I could even make in this build would be costing mirrors. So I thought I would do a showcase and show what this build is capable. I got this whole idea originally from Jungroan, which, you know, he's the creator of this build, or at least to my knowledge he is. And then I also got a lot of inspiration from KingpinUWU. So I took parts from what I saw of both of them doing, and then I believe I have improved on both of what they have done. Certainly I've pushed this probably, I don't know, 10 times further than Jungroan did in his videos. So yeah, I'm gonna show my skills, my setup, why I chose what I chose, and I'll also share how I progress this build and what gear pieces I got and when and why. Okay, first off, if you don't know what this build already is all about, it's about stacking gem quality that gives you additional effects for Ember Fusillade, which you can eventually get its hover time to 0.01 second, which makes it auto cast. You put that in dodge, and it becomes a one-button build that destroys the entire game. Extremely fun, extremely easy, extremely comfy, comically powerful when you invest into it. How you achieve that hover duration, before you're super well geared, you will be grabbing these nodes. So these nodes, in combination with the Palm of the Dreamer with reduced skill effect duration, will get your hover duration down to the threshold of 0.01 second, which is what you want to hit first off. And then that plus anointing Paragon on your amulet for 5+ quality, and then that will get it down to that duration. Now, so one of the biggest improvements you can make with this build is the wand with the implicit chance for spells to fire 2 additional projectiles. What that does is, before you get that, you end up taking these nodes for increased chance for extra projectiles, and then these nodes. And then that, as soon as you can get the Runeseeker's Call with that implicit line, you can drop all of those points, because the max roll of that of 50% is the same amount that all of those nodes give you. So that's kind of like the first big improvement you can make with a build. It frees up a lot of skill points. You can drop all those skill points. Now, Jungroan's version, he was using the Atziri's Splendor, which I just think is bad. It's for sure worse than the Lore Weave, but I also just think that chest is bait. You can get a rare chest. You can start this build playing with a rare chest, and it'll do the same exact thing for, 1/3 of the cost of that chest. And sure, you get 1 level on your skills, but it's relatively easy to hit the level 40 cap on Ember, that you really don't need it, and it ends up being kind of a waste. So first progression off, just once you have the base pieces, you can start working towards a Runeseeker's with the additional projectiles line on it. That is the rune forged version of it. So yeah, I got really lucky and I bought mine non-corrupted with the 50% chance and corrupted it and got a 6th socket. That's extremely lucky. You don't need a obviously you don't need a 6th socket. You definitely want a 6th socket because it gives you obviously a huge damage increase. I'm using double crit so I can cap my crit chance. If I go over here, I'm sitting at 95.48% chance to crit. But that in combination with this, the 25% increased crit chance if you triggered a skill recently. So if I dodge, you can see, if I can scroll fast enough, it goes to 98%. So basically 100, I could get 100%, say if I just swapped this energy gain to that. But if you have 98, I mean, it doesn't really, there's no noticeable difference between that and 100%. Your tooltip would just be slightly higher. So yeah. So yeah, using that to max out the crit. Now, the second most important upgrade you can make is the Lore Weave. Lore Weave is absolutely insane for this build. The biggest thing for this is the 7% plus quality of all skills. What this lets you do, so for me, I was using a Palm of the Dreamer with a 10% reduced skill duration before, and then I bought this and got 7%, and even with these nodes removed, I was still at the hover duration of 0.01 seconds. So that frees up these skill points, which is nice. I don't know the threshold for these two pieces in combination. I don't know like what the lowest amount reduced skill effect duration you could have on your Palm of the Dreamer. I can confirm though at least 10% and reduced skill effect duration on the Dreamer and a 7% quality will get you down to the hover duration so you can get rid of these points. So yeah. So that's one big benefit of this chess piece. The second benefit is, as KingpinUWU, if you've seen his video, you can drop the Withering Presence withered interval to 0 seconds. Meaning you will max stack the withered buff on anything in your presence instantly. Which is really, really nice. It's just another quality of life damage improvement. To do that, you have to have 7% quality on that. You obviously have to have Paragon on your amulet. And then Withering Presence, you need Chaos Mastery, Diala's Desire, Uhtred's Augury, and then you need to have it level 20 with a +1 on Corrupt and a 23 quality Corrupt. So it needs to be twice corrupted with +1 level and 23% quality. You only need 3 sockets, so don't pay more for that, or you can just make it yourself. If you don't know, you can improve the level of the skill after you've corrupted it. So you can just buy, say, 40 level 18 spirit, turn them all Withering Presence, add quality, give it 3 sockets, and then corrupt them all, and blah blah blah. And then double corrupt the ones that hit +1, and double corrupt the ones that hit +23, and you should get one in not too difficult. And then if you get more than one, you can sell it for probably like 35 div and make a little bit of money on the side. But yeah, so that's another thing that the Lore Weave accomplishes. The other thing is that if you get one with projectiles from spells Chain, you can get rid of the Snake Pit Ring completely, which is another huge boost. And you can equip a ring like this. I self-crafted all of my gear, you know, other than the uniques, obviously, but everything else is self-crafted. And then another thing that makes this chess piece even more insane is the resistance line. It will set your max resistances to 80, or the cap to 82%, which is unbelievably strong for defense. Going that much more over your resist gives you so much EHP, and it more than makes up for the low base energy stat from this armor. So it's for sure worth it, even survivability wise. The biggest downside with this, well, one, it can be expensive, and two, this is one of the most annoying items to divine probably in the entire game, at least with uniques, because you have to hit the 7% quality, and then you really want to hit at least 80 on the max resistances, because you want it to be better than, you know, what a normal base could be giving you, which would be obviously 75. So I bought this chest piece for 600 div, and then I spent, I think, about 500 divines divving it to what it is at now. And I'm still not fully satisfied with it, but I mean it's more than good enough. Yeah, but you have to hit the 7% quality, and then you want to hit at least 80 on the max. 82 is obviously the best. Any small percent, you know, past the normal max of 75 just gives you an incredible amount of effective HP on the build. And I believe around 80 you'll be getting more EHP than from a rare chest piece with like 800 energy shield, which is what I was running before this. Now, you can just stop there and get 7% quality and 1+ chain, but the thing that makes this chest piece so unbelievably strong is that line right there. Projectiles from spells can fork. This improves your DPS, your clear, by a hilarious amount. It's night and day difference when you get the spells fork. So if you get one, there are, I think when I last checked, there's about 10 on market with those two lines and the 7% quality. It's absolutely worth getting that over anything else. The chain, +1 to chain and spells fork is absurd. And as you can see in my showcase, I mean, my clear and the projectiles are just crazy. Even in 200% daily maps, I mean, it's a breeze going through it. Here is my helmet. I self-crafted, like I said, I self-crafted everything. If this video gets any amount of traction, I could do a crafting guide on all this stuff. But just know, at the time I made it, I don't know, it could be cheaper, it could be more expensive now to make them, I'm not sure. But I've probably put about 350 divines on average into each rare item here. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm not corrupting anything until I say get a couple mirrors. If I end up getting a couple mirrors, and then I would Hinakora's Lock, or I would either recraft and then Hinakora's Lock for a corrupt, but yeah, it's just, for me it just feels too risky to corrupt rare gear that has so much invested into it. Yeah, it's more like aspirational. For the helmet, so you want to get a 2-socket one that's not corrupted, because you want to put the Raven Touch Shard in it so you can anoint Zarek's Gift. And you can put it in a corrupted helmet, but you won't be able to anoint it, so you'll waste a 100 div item. The other thing is you want it to be 2 sockets so you can put the Kurgel's Gaze. And the reason being is it increases in reductions to life regeneration rate also apply to mana regen. The Gemling has this skill, Virtuous Banner. So gain a random mode every so seconds, each mote, blah 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 blah. So each one will give you, where is it? Intelligence mote will give you 5% life regen and 5% mana regen. And then the additional effects give you more life regen and more mana regen from every mote on top of that. So this is basically doubling the amount of mana regen you get from this Ascendancy passive, because all of the life regen will then be also be putting into your mana regen, which is really insane. Super nice. Once you do have this build min-maxed, it's quite easy to hit level 40 on Ember Fusillade, which I've hit. And when it is level 40, it costs an absurd amount of mana to cast. So that's why you really want mana cost efficiency on your helmet. This one line, up to 29% mana cost efficiency, is an absurd amount to get on one line for an item. So you absolutely want that on the helmet. And then I have pathed in a way where I'm getting all of this as well on top of this. You may not need both of these lines, but I just like the comfort that it feels. You know, I could probably delete one of these 3 and throw in some more crit damage if I wanted, but my damage is already, as you could see in the showcase, I already obliterate everything in the game. So yeah, it's more for comfort and feeling. Mana cost efficiency feels really good on this, especially when you've pushed the level up to the cap. It just ends up costing so much mana every time you cast. I mean, 225 mana for one cast is crazy. That's another reason why balancing your support gems for this gem stud is even more important, because you'll get 30% less cost. On top of the red one, which is just insane. The amount of like EHP this gives you that you can't really see is wild. I mean, the one shots on you are so much less when nothing critting you does extra damage. That's just absurd. Yeah. Mage Blood, yeah, surprise, everyone has Mage Blood in their build. Right now, what I'm doing, so there's a key big change that I made in this build that really made me want to upload this video to begin with. And as you can see, my critical damage percent increase is 842%, which is wild for this build. That is an astronomical amount of critical damage. And it could be even a lot higher. Now, what I was doing before, I used to run Chaos Inoculation, but I got off Chaos Inoculation and added a series Communion. Now what this does, it reserves a percent of your health. It reserves it. It doesn't remove it, it reserves it. Meaning the game still counts that as your total health pool. So it being reserved, I have 130 current life right now out of 1,329. Which puts me on low life. Which has one immensely powerful synergy for low life. I mean, there's a couple, but this is a crazy one. So this build, you know, you're stacking crit chance and crit damage. That's your whole scaling, and a lot of scaling of a lot of builds. Now, you add this into the mix with Pain Attunement, and when you're on low life, you get 30% more critical damage bonus, which is a multiplier on your base. And you can buy one with less maximum life, which I think is the only option you can really... I mean, you can take the other options, but they'll feel bad. Less max life doesn't matter at all, because we're already reserving like 90% of our life anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you're basically getting Pain Attunement with no downside. And then when you reserve your life with this, it lets you always be on low life. So you're always benefiting from that crit multiplier. Let me show you how much this gives us. So without it, we're at 648%. So what, that gives us almost 200% crit? Yeah, I mean, that's insane. 1 joule giving you 200% crit. And the thing is, it scales everything so much harder. So any 1 point you get in critical damage becomes way more valuable because now it's being multiplied. So if you're ultra rich or ultra lucky, you could have a 3 or 4 socket voices and then craft one of these double crit damage jewels. And one of these jewels will push you up to like 1 more. So I have 3, 1 from the Zark's helmet, and I farm myself a voices. Sadly, I only got the 2 socket one. I mean, still absurdly strong. But if you got the 3 socket one, which I've actually been running Simulacrum, and I'm over 250 runs now without it. Kill me. But I mean, even 1 more of these would maybe push your crit damage up to it might push it up to 1,000, honestly, with this Pain Attunement synergy. So yeah, that is a crazy thing to add to the build. Other absurd benefit is it lets you use Blasphemy for free. So I'm running Temp, Chains, and Enfeeble, and it costs 0 spirit, which normally it costs 98 spirit. So not only does this give us our low life synergy for our crit multi, it also gives you almost 100 spirit for free. And on top of that, you can now slot in Execute 3 on both of your Ember Fusillade, which is like the best damage support, one of the best damage supports in the game. I mean, 30% more damage all the time because we're always on low life, and then it deals 30% additional more damage against any enemy that is on low life. So as soon as anything hits low life, it's just going to immediately just disappear. That's why if you notice when I'm dashing around bosses, as soon as they hit like a little threshold, it's almost like a culling threshold with how much damage you do. So yeah, that's crazy. So that one thing just gives you so much power in the build. I bought this at 470 div. I don't know what it is now. It might be more, it might be less. But it's absolutely 100% worth it. The challenge this brings, though, is you have to get up your chaos res. So it can be a little difficult to cap. Like I said, I crafted all of this stuff myself before. Something that's really helpful is you can just swap any resistance with the where is it? So this, the Void Flux. So I had cold resistance. I think it was tier 3 cold resistance on my helmet. I just slapped that onto my helmet, and it hit it into tier 2 chaos res, which was perfect. So on the helmet, you only need you can take any resistance and then just swap it to chaos. And then I crafted this and did the same thing. I don't even remember what resistance. I hit some random res, and I just used that on it, which then boosted it even more. Yeah, my rings are pretty absurd. What you could, yeah, like I said, I can make a crafting guide if this video gets any traction. It probably won't, but yeah. So yeah, it can just make fixing your resistances, especially when 82 is your cap, a little bit more difficult, but it is absolutely 100,000% worth it. On top of that, it also lets us fit in 2 more spirit gems. So before the low life swap, I was only running Arctic Armor, Mana Remnants, Withering Presence, and Blasphemy, and then Cast on Dodge. And obviously all the free ones. After that, I was able to add Time of Need and Convalescence. The reason you want Arctic Armor is the additional effect from quality is buff grants 46% increased armor per stage. This, when you get it corrupted +1 level 20, all that fancy stuff, and then you add Cold Mastery, Arctic Armor actually gives you 10 stacks. So this one notable is giving us 460% increased armor, which the armor from our chest and our boots is enough to give us like quite a bit of armor. Obviously that's not the main thing that keeps you alive, but our weakest one hit thing in all caster builds always is armor. So being able to have 460% increased armor and then 2 of your pieces have set armor, it really helps with one-shots. Since this set swap, I have not been one hit by any physical attack in the game. So it's absolutely noticeable. Now, Time of Need. If you don't know, this is already absurd. It will cleanse all curses and elemental ailments from you. So just crazy comfy. You don't have to worry about ailments, curse maps with enfeeble and temp chains and all that bullshit. Doesn't matter anymore because this will proc every 6 seconds. And then combined with your Mana Remnants and Kaido's Rejuvenation, it puts the Time of Need cooldown to 4.5. So you're cleansing, healing, and removing everything from you for every 4.5 seconds, which is absurd. And on top of that, the additional effect grants you increased life regen, which, with the thing in our helmet, like previously stated, goes into mana regen. So this is also giving you 46% mana regen, which is, I mean, like everything, there's a lot of moving parts in this build, but everything synergizes so beautifully together. I mean, Gemling is just absurd. So yeah, that's giving you even more mana regen, which is making it even more comfy. I'm sitting at, what is mana per second? 243 mana per second, which feels perfect. Feels great. Yeah, so that's insane. And then Convalescence, obviously amazing. This is just nice defensive layer. If you happen to be playing and you take a big hit, you can just smack that and it'll just regen your shield to full and you're good to go. So that's just more comfort, more survivability. The cooldown is pretty crazy, even with the reduced from the 2 charges, it's still only 25 seconds cooldown. I don't know what it is after I get all the Mana Remnant buff things up, but even less. So it's way more cooldown than you ever end up needing for this skill. But it's really nice. If you ever take a big hit, you can just smack one button and all your shit comes back and you're fine. These skills are purely worthless just to balance the int, strength, and dex gems. Yeah, so you can ignore these. Although, you may be confused at how I have so many skill gems. What you want to do is you want to equip 2 unset rings and then equip 2 additional skills, and you can figure out your things. It'll give you more of the nodes for the Virtuous Banner, which is giving you more health, regen, mana regen, HP, gives you all the good shit. So on top of letting you balance your stuff out, it also gives you a higher max moat, because each moat is based on how many skills you have equipped. So just equip 2 unset rings for an additional skill slot, slap them in, add what you want, and then just unequip them for your actual rings, and you can just keep them on with no downside. Yeah, that's a nice little little piece of tech I saw on a YouTube short. No idea the guy's name. It was like had 30 views on it. I don't even know how I got recommended it. But smart, great idea. Works perfectly. So yeah, the only thing you're really you just hit your dodge. Flame Blast is purely for comfort. This skill does so much damage. I have yet to find a boss this doesn't one-shot. I don't even know the max. I do want to test it in a full party at some point, but as seen in the showcase, it one-shots everything, which just makes fighting pinnacles feel super comfy. If you want to farm pinnacles all day long, this lets you do that without even thinking. Just turn your brain off. You can just hold this, easy blast, instantly destroyed, kills every single pinnacle one shot. Also, as you saw, you don't technically need it. If you're to this level of investment with cast on dodge, I mean, I'm doing millions of damage per second with Ember anyway, but I mean, it's nice to just be able to use one button on a pinnacle, specifically Arbiter of Ash, just to not give him a second to breathe to do his one-shot mechanics. That's basically why I have this. Yeah. Mage Blood, yeah, get whatever you need. I have the double all-res with the duplicate, so I'm fixing my elemental res between this ring and Mage Blood alone, and then this ring and this helmet, and obviously the impurity from this is fixing my chaos res. And then we're just getting crit chance. I think you do certainly want crit chance. And then movement speed is just a nice thing to have. It just makes it feel a little bit more comfortable. So I'm sitting at 79% movement speed in combo with the Decree of Flight. Yeah, it just makes it feel a little bit smoother. And I swear it makes you dodge maybe a little bit further. I could be wrong, but it makes your dodge feel smoother somehow. I'm not sure how much that affects it. Yeah. Both the people that I got this build idea from, they already showed how to craft this amulet. It's not that difficult. Again, I can make a crafting video. One more thing I will say is when you make the swap to the low life version and you're not on Chaos Inoculation, bleeding and poison will go through your energy shield, right? So you kind of want something to solve that. So just buy 2 of these charms with increased charges, so they have at least 2 uses each. And I got ones with guard, so guard takes any damage before your life or your energy shield. So if I do happen to get hit with poison or bleed, it'll be blocked and I'll get a bit of guard on top. I don't think that's necessarily necessary, but it just helps with comfort. And then I am running the Spirit of the Owl. I think this is the best one. Gives you more energy shield, gives you increased damage, and gain is cold. So just huge damage, more life. You could go for the cat for more movement speed and crit. That would help you cap your crit chance really easily. Obviously it would be conditional because you need to kill a rare. So it's a little less comfy than just capping it otherwise. But you could do that, and then you could, if you did that, you could probably also drop a crit chance on this and then saw anything else in you want on your wand. Yeah. Okay, I think I went through everything. I will link my Poe Ninja in the description so you can actually look at everything I'm using specifically in the skill tree. I have thought a lot about how and why I've chosen everything I've chosen. There are slight differences you could for sure make. Like I used to have this whole wheel allocated, but once you get the low life setup, it is less optimal than just grabbing these, because I used to grab this with resonance and grab these 2 nodes, but resonance I don't think is worth it at that point, because you can have a Heart of the Well in here like this, or you can craft another one of these insane double crit jewels in place of that, and then drop this wheel over here and just path and grab them, because they're still worth having, especially the all attributes. We're using so many different requirements, so we kind of need pretty high strength and int and dex for all the skills we're using, you know, with like overwhelming presence and all that. So yeah, that makes it really easy to hit the attribute requirements, because I don't think I have an attribute roll on my rares. Yeah, I don't. So yeah. So yeah, I've thought a lot about it. This is what I've settled on to be the most efficient and most comfortable. This gives you ailment threshold. This also is really crazy good for more ailment threshold. So I never get stunned. I'm never ever getting stunned ever. So I don't need the stun charm at all. And I extremely rarely get frozen. I think the only time I really get frozen is when you get the guaranteed frozen from the strong boxes. But yeah, otherwise the threshold is so high you don't miss those charms, not having those charms. Yeah, I think I went over everything. If there's any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. I'll get to you. And yeah, I can explain why I chose what I did if I didn't already say that. And yeah, hope this is helpful. Hope this shows the potential power you can get. Oh, my Poe Ninja it's bugged for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't think it shows the DPS from the Voices jewels or the pain attunement. So you can kind of ignore the DPS. I mean, you saw it in the showcase of what it actually is. But yeah, everything else is pretty accurate. Yeah, alright, that's everything. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know if you have any questions. I'll get to you. Peace.